What up guys, in today's video I'm going to be talking about the big unification fight, and that's going to be taking place March the 4th. You've got Keith Thurman, 127, lost 0, 22 KOs, defending his WBA welterweight title against Danny Swift Garcia, who's won 33, lost 0 and 19 KOs. He holds the WBC belt, WBC welterweight title belt. So it's a big unification fight. I'm really looking forward to this fight itself. It's going to be a great fight against two hungry young lions who are going in there, both undefeated, both don't know how to lose, and it's just going to be a thrilling fight to watch. A lot of people are genuinely thinking that. I like Keith Thurman a lot. Keith Thurman is probably, one of the most underrated boxers going, in the sense of put him in any situation and he seems to always get the win. But the same thing can be said about Danny Garcia as well. How many times Danny Garcia, when he was like welterweight champion, he unified the division, he went against Lucas Matisa, and I'll admit I was surprised with the Lucas Matisa fight. Danny Garcia stuck to his boxing, took that horrible shot in his face when he took that right hand and his gum shield flew out the audience as well, flew out the ring. It just showed Danny Garcia can take a punch very well, and is very strong in that sense that, to think he took Lucas Matisa's big punch and took it with ease and still boxed with a very good game plan, outboxed him for every round, and was just too. They called him Swift for a reason, and he showed why. Against Keith Thurman itself, he's going to have a different sort of caliber, or a different sort of opponent that's going to be in his face. Keith Thurman tends to let those haymakers throw. He loves throwing those big haymakers and making sure they land, and he's got the accuracy to knock you out as well. So in the sense of Danny Garcia trying to counterpunch Keith Thurman coming in, it's going to be quite difficult, because Keith Thurman tends to throw punches at angles, and he doesn't just hit you in one shot. He's another one that can adapt and change to a game plan. You saw his performance against Sean Porter. In the Sean Porter fight, Sean Porter kept on coming at Keith Thurman, and Keith Thurman was landing big heavy punches. But a lot of the fighters that face Keith Thurman, this is another thing why it's going to be quite an interesting fight, because I don't think Danny Garcia, apart from being in the ring with such a big puncher like Lucas Matisa, and even Zab Judah caught him with a shot as well that he didn't see, and Danny Garcia got a bit shook from that punch, but he didn't see it. That was the reason why. But a lot of fighters in general say Keith Thurman's punch is very powerful, and he hits you very hard, and it's the ones that you don't see that hurt the most. And I see this being the case with the Keith Thurman and Danny Garcia fight. I like Garcia. I think he has proven to be, regardless of what people talk about cherry-picking opponents, when he was like welterweight champion, he did have some difficult fights, and he proved his A-game. The same example could be said when he fought, I remember the fight that I watched of Ashley Theophane, and he went there and he beat Ashley Theophane, and also when he fought Eric Morales in the first fight for the WBC light welterweight title. And Garcia's nose was completely gone and he was busted up, but he still ended up winning the fight. And then the second fight, we all know what happened with that. He knocked out Eric Morales Eric Morales did a 360 turn in that fight and got knocked out cold. So regardless of that, I think Garcia's going to give a very good count of himself in this fight. I think he's going to be a very interesting fight. It's going to be like a chess match. People are writing off Danny Garcia, but I don't think you should write off Danny Garcia, because the thing is, in these sort of situations, he's going to step up. And the same way a lot of people writed him off against Lucas Matisa, and the same thing with similar when he fought Amir Khan, they writed him off in that fight as well. But he tended to show, that what he could do in the fight. Yeah, with the Khan fight, he was losing for 4 rounds, and all it took was that one left hook that he threw, and it caught Khan on his neck and knocked him out. But in general, against the Keith Thurman fight, there's a plus side to this. Well, there's a down factor as well, because the truth of the matter is he's not faced someone like a Keith Thurman, and Keith Thurman tends to hit very hard as well, and that's what's going to be the difference in this fight, is the punching power. I know Danny Garcia's got a punch on him as well, but it's like what they were saying in the interviews, what I was reading, that they were saying that they're going to be targeting Keith Thurman's body and break him down. But the thing is, a lot of the fighters tend to say that, and they can't really touch his body because his movement's been so key. Okay, the last fight that you remember him getting caught with that sharp body shot was against Luis Collazo, but he still redeemed himself and did well. And against Sean Porter was the big example that when he needs to dig deep and dig in the trenches, he pulls through and wins the fight. But a lot of people are slaying both ways, or people are saying Keith Thurman's got this fight. People are saying they're not really giving Danny Garcia much hope. But it is generally a 50-50 fight, and that's why I see it as being a 50-50 fight. But I can also see why Keith Thurman will probably be the favourite in this fight. But let me know what you guys think of the fight anyway. Are you guys excited like I am, or are you looking really forward to it? Remember to subscribe to the channel Triple B Boxing TV. Thank you.